So today is D-Day, also known as Deconstruction Day for the greenhouse. It's been up for 2 full seasons now, and we're going to upgrade it. We're going to build it out of cattle panels. Alright, we're going to start deconstructing this so that way we can save all the fittings that we need to fit or keep. Like this is all, I built it all out of galvanized stuff, so hopefully that'll work. Well, I had a nice little surprise when I'm taking the greenhouse down. I saw praying mantis. Crazy. It scared the crap out of me though.
Well, the old greenhouse is all taken down. Now we just gotta clean up the weeds here, and Mike's gonna burn around the edges, and then we'll start constructing the new one.
The framing is just about finished. We leveled it out as best as we could, but what we ended up doing was, because it was kind of a pain to hammer the fencing staples in, so what we did for a temporary hold is I went around and I used 1.5 crown staples, and that held it in place to allow me to get the frame exactly where I wanted it to be. And then now I'm going to come over it. I did this one last night. I was just too tired, I couldn't do it anymore. Now I'm just going to go through and put a staple on every, just about every bracket, and then I'll give it a connection. Same braces as before, and yeah, it's quite a bit wider. Look at how much more room you have. So, and then my wife pointed out that the holes are still pretty big. That a deer's head might be able to get its, excuse me, I just chugged a thing of water and some granola. But anyways, she said that deer might be able to get their head in and still eat my tomatoes. So what I'm going to do is just come over and zip tie some poultry fencing, you know, kind of down. I'll keep the deer out. I know I'm not going to keep the rabbits out. The rabbits just burrow under everything. The only way to keep them out is if I make it too tall, or raise these up, which I'm not gonna. But anyways, used a 4x4 for the door framing. This is just temporary framing here. I'm gonna start nailing some frame here so I can put the plastic down. And then I grabbed some pressure treated boards, pressure treated 2x2s to put in the doors. I'm going to do a French style door here, or I think it's called a French style door, or Bavarian door, or whatever. It's just 2 doors, so that way when I'm working out here, if I want to let the greenhouse air out quite a bit, I can open up the top door and then leave the bottom door closed so the deer don't get in there. So, and then I'm going to put a window in the back. But alright, well, I'm going to start getting everything going, and I'll show you how it looks through the next steps.
This is how far we've gotten. Well, Mike has gotten since we did the last update this morning. He went ahead and framed out the doorway so we can put plastic on it and staple the plastic to it. The entryway and the back there are both going to be separate pieces of plastic, so they'll be permanently affixed, whereas the sides here, those are all going to be movable on the sides. So he has these rails here that he puts little brackets on that hold the plastic in place, so we can roll it up on the sides, up and down, and then the ceiling will be permanently on, but the sides will allow for airflow. You see he has brackets in there, and he just went through and nailed the rest of these side pieces onto the wood, so they're pretty sturdy. We get about 6 inches of snow at a time, and sometimes it'll come down day after day, so we can have up to 1.5 to 2 feet of snow in the matter of a couple of days here, because we're in the snow belt, and we wanted to make sure it was strong enough to hold the snow load. So with the cattle panel and the bracings it should hold, hopefully. And you see he bracketed out the back so we can put plastic on this as well. And we were able to reuse a lot of the stuff that we took out of the old greenhouse. This black plastic was on the floor or on the ground in the other one, and it fit perfectly in here, even though this one's a little bigger. Some of these wood pieces were from the old greenhouse, ones that look a little more weathered than the new ones up front. But we've been trying to reuse what we can so we don't have to buy new things.
$40.
What was that?
We only spent $140, and pretty much all of it was in the cattle panels. It was $109 in cattle panels, and then $4 for the small staples, which I really didn't need. $4 for the you gotta get the big staples. I got the 3/4 inch just in case, but you gotta get the big ones. Those are 1.5 inches, and then it's just all repurposed wood. So the only thing actually purchased here are the 2x4s, the cattle panels, and the staples.
Here's the completed greenhouse. We just finished it a few minutes ago. Mike created these side panels here. He put a electrical conduit all the way down the side. Half-inch electrical conduit, and some of the pieces we had weren't big enough, so he used some PVC to connect them. And then he made this little handle. Whoa, Nelly! So the side panel can roll up. He'll demonstrate how we did it. And then we use these little bike rack things we had laying around. They fit in there perfectly to... Oops!
They fit in there perfectly.
They do if you do it right.
Yes, dear.
To hold the plastic up. And here you can see the peppers and everything we took out earlier before we went on vacation are starting to grow back. But in the inside, you can see we laid the plastic. We attached the door. And then on the sides here, we wrapped the front and the back completely in plastic before we put the top on. And then for the top, the sides are loose, but then we overlapped the front with the plastic from the top and used these wood pieces to keep it from blowing up, so it's not just stapled in there. It has more surface area contacting the wood, and the wind hopefully won't take it and blow it off. And here's the other side panel. And you can see Mike used electrical conduit here too and held it in place by these
It's
PEX tubing.
PEX tubing.
So he cut a piece in half, or a little bit more than half, and it snaps on, but he just secured it with a screw. And there are still some little holes that we have to go in and patch up, but that shouldn't take too long. And then here's the back. We put in a frame for a window, but decided not to put a window in. We'll see how this summer goes next year. But this is the completed greenhouse.
We have the door from the front here.
And Mike did a French door, or a Dutch door, some people might call it.
Yeah, I couldn't remember when I was videoing.
Oh no, it is a Dutch door. French door is 2 doors. So the top will open. So
this is the actual. This is going to double as a window.
The days where it's maybe warm during the day in the springtime, but not warm enough to open up the sides, we can just pop open the top here and keep the deer out.
Because a lot of times I'll come out and I'll work out here, and I'll go in and eat some lunch, just take a nap, and I leave the door open, and the deer come in here and eat my stuff. But yeah, and then I just kind of did a double hook here, so that way I can keep both the doors open.
And then on the inside here, we're moving the water up to the front instead of in the back, so we gained some grow room in the back, so we can have, I think, a total of how many buckets would there be in here?
This was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 16. It'll be
So we can have 16.
Less than last year, but
2, 4,
there's more
6,
grow space.
8. Now I lost count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
No, it's 18.
14, 16, 17. So it's the same amount of space, but they'll, or the same amount of buckets will be in here, but there'll be more space for the plants to grow, and it won't be so, so crowded.
Mm-hmm. And one of the advantages with this is that you can actually use this to
trellis on.
To trellis, and it'll be super easy to trellis. Because last year, or this year, we had just the pipes, individual pipes going through, and I had to like tie them to the closest pipe. Well, this I can just kind of go wherever I'm going to go. It'll be easy. And actually, you know, what would be really nice is you could hang some plants in here if you ever wanted to. This is too short to hang a lot, but you could hang some in the back or whatever, and they'd be fine. But yeah, this is a far better design. I think it'll hold up. I think it'll hold up just fine. Knock on wood.
That's plastic. There you go.
But everything's built better. We used 4x4 for the door frame. We used pressure treated ground contact 2x4s. We decided to go with the 2x4s instead of the 2x6s because the 2x4s, or having the 2x6, I'd have to step over the 2x6 every time, and I could trip. And you could trip. You already did trip.
I already did.
The 2x4s would be easier to step into. And then we're probably just going to put down some mulch in here. Some chicken bedding mulch, pine shavings. But yeah, we just need to get a bunch of more buckets, and then this will be done. So, alright, give us a thumbs up button and leave your comments below.